Good morning, I'm Richard Higgs from Harold Stevens. I'm a later life financial planning specialist based right here on the High Street in Westbury-on-Trim in northwest Bristol. And today we're talking about Labour's first budget and how it relates to pensions and inheritance tax. All change from April 2027. Currently, any unused pensions that you've got, personal pensions, self-invested pension plans, maybe an occupational personal pension plan, any personal pension fund that you've not used when you pass away gets transferred to future generations, to your beneficiaries, completely free of inheritance tax. But from April 2027, all of those unused pension funds become part of your estate for inheritance tax purposes. So it might mean that your beneficiaries have to pay 40% inheritance tax before they inherit your pension fund. And they might even have to pay income tax as well when they receive that pension fund if you've died after 75. So all change from April 2027. Thankfully, the spousal exemption still exists. So on first death, you can transfer your personal pension to your surviving spouse on first death without paying inheritance tax. But this really is a time to start considering your options, start planning ahead. We do have time, as I said, April 2027, but it's starting to look now at what you can do to plan around these changes. There is a consultation going on by the government up until January 2025, but I have to say that's a consultation to decide how they're going to implement the changes rather than whether they're going to implement the changes or not. So these changes are coming and we need to start planning for the future. Because of the significant change in the rules with regard to pensions and inheritance tax, it could mean a very significant change in your estate planning strategy. Some of the things to start thinking about is if you are currently funding a pension purely for estate planning purposes because of the inheritance tax reliefs, I would definitely start reconsidering that strategy. If you haven't taken your pension at all because you've been advised quite correctly to keep that pension intact in order to transfer it to future generations, inheritance tax free, if that was your strategy, you need to reconsider. Especially if you've got a tax-free cash that you haven't used yet, and if you're after 75, as I said, if you were to die after 75, that tax-free cash could be subject to inheritance tax now. So I would start thinking about using that tax-free lump sum. You could draw it down and then use it, like you could spend it, or you could gift the money away and hope to survive 7 years. You could put that money into a trust fund for children, grandchildren. You could put that money into one of our recommended inheritance tax funds to get that inheritance tax free after just 2 years. So there are things you can do with that tax-free cash now. So I would strongly recommend starting to look at that option. You might not have been needing to draw down on the pension because you thought, well, we don't need the money, we can transfer it to our children tax-free. So you might want to start considering drawing down that pension, particularly up to your higher rate tax threshold. And you could gift that income away, completely tax-free, inheritance tax-free under your gifts under normal expenditure rules. Or even better, you could use that regular withdrawals to fund a whole of life family trust policy, which could create a large lump sum on your death in trust, which could potentially be used to pay off any inheritance tax, or if there's no inheritance tax, it would just be a trust fund tax-free for your beneficiaries. So there's some really good strategies that you can still do, which are highly tax efficient. As I said, on first death, the spousal exemption still exists, so it's really important that you get the paperwork right on all your pension planning. Get that expression of wish forms up to date so your spouse is the main beneficiary on your pension plan, so they'll inherit your pension completely inheritance tax free. And also perhaps reconsider the bypass trust, where your pension fund could transfer into a trust on your death. It won't escape inheritance tax, on first death, but it would escape inheritance tax on subsequent deaths, and it's got all the other advantages of a trust planning. So you might want to consider a bypass trust as well. I'll be issuing other videos all around Labour's first budget and what it means for later life retirement financial planning. Let me know what you think about the change in pension rules. Do you have any questions? Just let me know in the comments below. Subscribe to the channel because I'm going to be putting out more videos about some of the advice that we have around some of the changes. And a date for your diaries, we have Wednesday, January the 29th at 1:30 p.m. at Stoke Lodge in Stoke Bishop. We are going to be doing a face-to-face event. Capacity is limited, so definitely book your place, reserve your place directly with the office. Get in touch with the office to book your place. At the event, I'll be taking you through all of the rule changes. I'll be taking you through all of the strategies to reduce or even eliminate your inheritance tax, even despite the changes. I'll be giving guidance on what to do going forward with regard to the changes, not just with inheritance tax, but all different taxes. So it's going to be one not to miss. So that's Wednesday, the 29th of January at 1:30 p.m. at Stoke Lodge in Stoke Bishop. Reserve your place. If I don't see you there face to face, I'm sure I'll see you at another video that we release. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time. Okay, cheers. Bye. Bye.